They call me Desperate Gaming, he's an animal. Watch him play, expert 2, standard 2. Clowning you, villains with every aspect I choose. Been showing just that they lose when they step in the game. Everyone knows my name. Doctor Strange, who, Spider-Ham, maybe, and Black Widow. On a secret mission to stop the villain. Dance of Death is the main event. Unless I'm Rocket Raccoon, no time to be rude. Oh wait, I just I'm a superhero, always willing to go to blow with crimes to save so many lives. A stud is do or die. Marvel champions, you a champion. I'm a champion, we are champions. I'm a superhero, always willing to go to blow with crimes to save so many lives. A stud is do or die. Marvel champions, you a champion. I'm champion, we are champions. They say it's a little bit slow, but I'm all about control. When I stun and confused, cause there's no way I would lose. I flip up and down, villains stand you round till I'm ready or not. This combo ready to
Alright, what's up everybody? This is Describe Gaming. I'm bringing to you some Marvel Champions content. Now, my title is called I Am Burnt Out. Yeah, it's an interesting title, but I want to be honest and I want to be transparent, and I also want to explain what that really means to me, not the game itself, so don't get it twisted. Just keep it straight on me here. So anyways, I have every box, every expansion, every hero that's been released as far, and this is dating Next Evolution right now. I've been able to play every hero, every villain. I have not used like every single modular differently on each villain. Okay, I admit that, but I have played every villain. I've played every hero, pretty much every hero in every aspect. I've done tons of deck building, campaign playthroughs. We played expert runs, standard 2 runs, expert 2 challenges. So I've done all the 9 yards, and I've had a good time playing the game. I think the game itself is like a masterpiece, so to speak. Like, I think for card games go, I think, when they initially released it, they had a good kind of structure mechanically for this game. And I don't know if they took ideas a little bit from Lord of the Rings and other kind of card games, but the being able to flip to alter ego and kind of hide, and that fit the theme of like heroes, generally speaking, because heroes usually have secret identities that people generally don't know that they're Batman or they're Superman or whatever. Yeah, Clark Kent disguise glasses. Yeah, I'm Superman. So yeah, when I got into Marvel Champions, I love the theme. I like what I saw on paper. Mechanically, I thought the game had potential. And I'm not going to get into huge bunny trails because I know like there was things like people saying, oh, it's just a bunch of numbers. But no, I've never seen a game like that. I've always pictured web kicks and backflips. I picture Spider-Man doing a crazy like acrobatic maneuver and snapping a joke while he's doing it, taking no damage. And I think that's what kind of locked me into this game at the start. And then with each expansion and minor release, the game just kept getting better and better and better. So they had a good groundwork for this game when they released it. And it was kind of bare bones. Now where we are with the game, we have a lot more keywords, traits, a lot more stuff going on right now, which is good, and which I really like. My favorite is teamwork. That's a new kind of mechanism for the villain side. Players recently got player size games, which again is a wonderful addition to that philosophy that the developers have kind of spoken upon, player empowerment. And I think they did a good job far as balance goes. I don't think it was overtuned too much. I think, again, I still stated as my prediction was that it really depends how difficult the scenario you're playing is going to dictate how well these player size schemes work. Although I was sort of able to break the game, so to speak, with Star-Lord and Cable and Drax and Cable, do one-turn kills against some of the hardest villains in the game. And it didn't matter what difficulty we put them on, like standard 2, expert 2, they went down on one round, one turn. But that was difficult, and that was actually, I think that was okay, so let me explain. That was a very fun, entertaining challenge for me personally, because at first I had the feeling like it can't be done. And I had that feeling when I first sort of started playing against Ronin. When people started playing against Ronin, a lot of people complained, oh, this is impossible. And so many streamers rage quit, cursed at the camera. And then I was like, no, I think Ronin, I think heroes could beat Ronin. So if you go to my channel, there's a whole lot of Ronin plays. We beat them in Justice, Leadership, Aggression, Protection, all different heroes, including the weakest Valkyrie, Hulk. We beat them with those. But that was like, for me, that kind of got me back into the game. So little things like this sort of re-energizes me. It keeps me out of burnt out. But recently we sort of did the turn 1 kill on Venom Goblin and Ronin. And it was a bittersweet victory because let me tell you, it basically had this euphoric moment, like achievement. I had climbed Mount Everest. But then I was like, what's next? Like, I just did this awesome feat. And how do I top that? How do you top turn 1 killing Venom Goblin and turn 1 killing Ronin? So it was almost kind of a bittersweet victory. It was so fun trying to do it. And then now, let me go back to the main topic. Descry's burnt out Marvel Champions. Explain. So the game, I'm not saying the game is the problem. It's mainly me, okay? So before I get a bunch of comments saying, how can you say Marvel Champions is a burnt out game? I'm not saying the game is burnt out. I'm saying I'm feeling a little burnt out. And I think it's mainly because I've been there on day one. I've played the game way too much, which is, I'm not complaining. I like the game. And what does that mean for me as a content creator? We're going to get to that. Secondly, I'm just trying to explain the process of me getting slowly burnt out. I've exhausted, like I've done different synergies with different heroes, built different decks. I've done a whole smother of things in this game, and it's been great. And I will say this, most games cannot even do 1/10 of what I'm talking about before you're burnt out and you're like, I gotta move on to something else. So I'm giving, credit where credit's due. Marvel Champions, if you're watching this video, go, oh, I might, I think I might get into this game. Oh no, Descry's is burnt out. Oh, maybe this is not a good idea to invest in this game. Totally not saying that. In fact, I would say the opposite. Trust me, if someone like me that's played it from day one for the last 4 years, thousands of games, and I'm now just feeling kind of burnt out, trust me, you'll be fine. You don't have to worry about being burnt out from this game. There's so many possibilities. And here's the thing, the game is not dead. It's far from it. There's going to be a lot more expansions, hero reveals. So it's a good time to get into this game. Now, am I going anywhere? Is my content going to stop? Am I going to do less playthroughs? Descry, tell me what's going on. You are one of my favorite content creators. Don't tell me you're not going to be doing any more Marvel content. So I'm going to unsubscribe right now. Not saying that. I'm not saying that. Someone in chat says, sounds like the time for a break. Lots of great stuff out there to play. Yeah, hey Kevin, what's up? So going, I just want to, so let me, oh, there's my chat. I'm like, why isn't my chat not showing up? It's showing up a little bit late. My internet was really bad. So those people trying to tune in and you kept getting alerts, Descry going live. I was having internet problems, guys. So I apologize about that. I don't mean to spam your alerts. So let's, so I kind of explained sort of, you know, where I'm at with the game. Now, Deadpool's coming out. X23 is coming out. I believe they're going to spoil maybe a preview of the next set that's coming out for us. Am I the only one thinking that 3 X-Men expansions in a row is a little overkill? Joshua. Well, here's the thing. I think if we're being honest, X-Men is probably the most popular part of Marvel. Like if not one of, you know, the popular spectrum of Marvel. So it's just normal for FFG to want to milk it. And I'm not complaining. I like X-Men. I like X-Men more than Avengers, more than Guardians. Although I'm not, I like those Marvel areas. I'm not saying they're bad, but I've always been a huge X-Men fan. And I think the stats and the polls, I think, show that people are more, I think, more interested in X-Men. I believe, I could be wrong, but from the people and the groups I talk to, it's always X-Men. So, Descry, let's get focused here. So, I think, guys, okay, so I might cut the way this is the way I look at it. I appreciate our growth. So I might show you guys my journey of growth with my channel. My channel has grown. It's been growing exponentially, especially this year. And that's really nice to see. Originally, when I did this channel, it was more for fun. I like being a content creator. I wasn't even doing Marvel Champions at the time. My channel was very small. And then I kind of fell into Marvel Champions. And then when I did, I was like, I like content creation. Let me do Marvel Champions. So over a couple of years, I've grown the channel. And now it's gone to a nice size. We're almost at 700. And I guess my goal would be 1,000. That would be awesome if we can hit that plateau. So that being said, my Let's Plays are probably the least kind of, I think, watched. Like, I'm not saying I'm not going to do Let's Plays, but I think we're going to tone that down quite a bit. They'll be more like, very rare, but like they'll be there. I'm going to tone that down a bit. And again, if you like the Let's Plays, there's hundreds of Let's Plays on my channel. So I'm pretty sure you have not watched every single one. So I'm not too worried about, you know, because I know I have people that do like watching my live plays. I will still do them. I'm kind of waiting for the new heroes to drop to kind of get back into more Let's Plays. But I'll probably be focusing more on topics for the game, kind of, you know, like this, but this is about me. Talk about, put strategies together. Like, people liked my Marvel Champions Best Allies, where we kind of sat there, went through the roster, and I talked about, you know, my opinions on the allies in the game. OBS disconnected. OBS reconnected. Okay, my internet's a little bit sketchy right now. Just bear with me here. So Let's Plays are going to be toned down a bit because, quite frankly, that's not where all the likes and all the views are coming from. I do get a lot of likes and views with Let's Plays, but the big growth spurt where I get is like just content like this, or where I'm talking about the game or breaking down things about the game. And that is where the interest is on my channel. And because I'm burnt out, I don't have the the yearning to do a whole bunch of Let's Plays, because again, that's the least interesting on my channel, according to the viewers. And I'm fine with that. I'm not upset at the community for that. Where people seem to like me as a content creator is more about talking about the game, going over things about the game, kind of like Tony Tales. And I'm not saying I'm Tony Tales. I'm just giving you guys kind of an example. So that's probably where I'll spend a lot of my energy. Although, again, I will definitely play the new heroes, give my opinions, my feedback on it. But we're going to slow it down a bit. Okay, so for those that do like tune in for a bunch of live Let's Plays, apologize. But just keep an eye on my channel. There'll be some live plays coming. I might kind of put it in a schedule event, so that way you don't miss it, since there'll be less live plays from Descry. So we'll probably do that. But again, I want to say, for those that have kind of followed me and kind of been there as I grow a little bit, I am very appreciative of your support. The comments we get from a lot of you, the live chat. I mean, you guys sort of kept me kind of doing it. I would have probably tapped out a long time ago, but it's the viewers that come to my channel encourage me, and we share like our love for the game, and I like that camaraderie that we have. Yes, I could be a little polarizing. I'm not the most likable content creator to the other content creators because, again, I'm kind of polarizing a bit, and I don't like tier lists that much, and that hurts some of their feelings. But I don't have animosity towards anybody. It's not like I want them to fail. I like the game, and if they're growing, then I know the game is growing and it's still alive. And I don't want Marvel Champions to die. Trust me, it's one of my favorite card games. It does sadden me. I'm a little burnt out, but guys, we crossed so many plateaus. We climbed Mount Everest. We did campaigns together. We talked about the game. Like, I got my money's worth. And yes, I mean, right now, Descry is burnt out. But let's talk about the future. So when they release their next box set, my expectations and my hope is that we're going to see some new systems, maybe new mechanics. Now, here's the thing. I had a talk on someone on Discord, and he basically said, well, you got modulars. That will, that changes the game, yada, yada, yada. Yes. And again, and I think so. I think that's why Marvel Champions has such good replayability, is because the way when they came up with the game, they had this idea already in the core days to have customizable modular sets that you can kind of put in, put out. And that was so great insight, because it just gives your game so much more longevity, and it synergizes in with the new content you drop. Because a lot of games, you would buy that game, but that game that you originally bought will not be configured to work with the new stuff that drops, right? It's just not. It just the game itself can't connect with those different keywords and stuff, or it throws off the game or whatever. But they did Marvel Champions in a way that, as your collection grows, your game and customization gets more interesting, and it opens up way more. And same for deck building and everything like that. So again, hats off to Nate, French, Caleb, and Michael Boggs, who's no longer with FFG. You guys did a great job, and as much as I sort of talk down about bad things that I don't like about the game, I do give you guys credit where credit is due. I think you guys made a great game, and any criticism I do have of the game, it's really just like in passion of, I like the game so much, and it's more of like out of love, like me saying, I feel strongly about this, and just want to see the game get better in my point of view. Daniel Craig says, I like your plays. It's hard to watch 2+ hours. I give you that. I really love the turn 1 kill games. Yeah, those were, again, really awesome. You are a great mind of the game and seeing combos that sees and plays the game at the highest level. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Again, guys, the the only reason why there is a Death's Cry gaming channel that's kind of catered to Marvel Champions is because of you guys. So I, this whole thing, me getting on the camera talking, wouldn't be there if you guys didn't join up and participate and share your wonderful Marvel Champions stuff. And the chat just popped up now on my screen. It's just because there's a huge delay, so I'm just reading it before it even pops up. So let's talk about the future. So what I'm hoping for is, innovation, new systems. And when I say that, what does that mean? What am I talking about? So I guess for me, it's like the best way to describe it is how they introduced the player side scheme mechanic, and how that really changed the game, and it changed so many strategies. So something like that almost, but giving that to the villain, because like I've always said, there is a power creep level when you introduce more stronger cards, mechanisms for the player. Yes, you increase the player power creep, but then, are you doing the same thing to the villain? Now, new modulars and stuff can balance that out, make it harder. They introduced Standard 2 and Expert 2, which in my opinion was a great move for myself, because I had gotten to the point playing on Expert where I was just winning every single game on Expert, and there wasn't any hardly games where maybe if it was Venom Goblin or someone super tough and I was playing kind of a weak built deck and I was making dumb plays, I could maybe lose an Expert game. But I'm glad they introduced Standard 2. That's sort of my new favorite difficult setting. I love Standard 2. Because for me, it fixes a lot of the weak areas that the villain had. No, not much overkill. The tempo is pretty bad with caught off guard. Oh, there goes your skill investigator. Zero cost thing that is no tempo hit for the player. So I really like that setting. Now, usually when I play Ronin or Venom Goblin, I just keep them on Expert or Magneto. Unless I'm feeling really ballsy and I want to get like my ego stroked, I might throw on Standard 2 against those villains. But they're so supercharged with their mechanics that they don't really need Standard 2 in my opinion. But the other normal villains, I think, play a little bit more like I'm talking about veterans that have played the crap out of the game, the deck build, like villain theory type deck building. And I think at that point, put your big boy pants on and jump into Standard 2. That being said, if you're enjoying Expert 1, not saying don't enjoy it. And I think the beauty of this game is, and like Brant from the Portal, you can have fun with this game in so many different ways, and you can have fun with the game on Standard. I'm not saying, I'm not trying to convert people to Expert to Standard 2. No, just specifically talking about myself as a player to this game. But yeah, I think, I guess I've been known in the community a little bit as sort of the Dark Souls or the Sweatband Call of Duty player of the community, I guess, which is cool. It's I don't know, that's another topic, but so I'm hoping that my hope is that they've concocted something very interesting. And some of the Discord people were like, whoa, I don't want the game to get difficult. I know you like difficulty, Death's Cry, but I don't want them to make it more difficult than what it is. And I would say, yes, I don't want them to just slap in Expert 3, Standard 3. I'm hoping that they give us something very, interesting that changes the feel of the game for the villain a little bit. And some of my ideas were like, well, why don't, the villain has two ways to usually beat a hero: kill them or thread out the main scheme. Why don't we give them maybe a third victory possibility? What could that be? I don't know. I'm not the developer, but maybe there's some sort of mechanism that maybe dabbles with counters or something, or and if this thing gets to the full counter mechanism, you lose or something, or Maybe have a special deck that can get shuffled in, or I don't know. But my point is, the developers are very smart. They're very creative. I know they could pull something out of their hat, and it'll be amazing, probably. But my hope is that they really focus on the villain set, the encounter deck. I guess I'll say it right now. I will be extremely disappointed, because I love the game, and this is where I am with the game, if they just focus on more power creeping for the players, because I think that's a slippery slope. Because if you just superpower us like He-Man and the Power Rangers, and we get into our rowboat suit and we're just stomping face to the villain and going, rah! I mean, we start to lose that challenge, and then we have to force to extreme measures and play the game on like standard 2, expert 2, which most people don't want to do. So what I'm just saying is that if they come up with interesting traits or interesting mechanics or systems that doesn't break the game, doesn't complicate the game, but it just like player size games, right? People were a little scared, some people in the community, that player size games were gonna break the game. Oh my god, the sky is falling. Oh, this is gonna break it. It's gonna make everything super OP. And it came and it didn't break the game. And I think for the most part, people have accepted them and they love them. So I'm just saying that I hope they go in that direction. I don't want them to just be like, yes, let's just keep doing what we did in Next Evolution, which let me touch on Next Evolution. So I love Next Evolution. Okay, I love Mr. Sinister. I love Juggernaut. Here's my problem too, is it makes it hard to go back to the other kind of bland villains in the game after facing like these really interesting mechanics. Now, that being said, I understand I could take Mr. Sinister's modular set, give Rhino flying with overkill and extra damage, and I did do that, and it was really fun. But I would still say that at its core, it's like a band-aid, and then sometimes it's like taking a Warhammer figure piece, and say like you broke an arm off one of your Space Marines, and now you're trying to fit a Tyranid part to fit for the arm or something. So it's not good, yes, putting different modulars in can make it spicy and interesting. Maybe it fixes that thing that bothered you about that old villain or whatever. But sometimes it's too much power. It's too swingy. So the handcrafted by default scenarios seem to be the best calibrated for difficulty and swinginess most of the time. But that being said, I do like that we have that option. And again, I think that's why it makes the game so robust, and so people don't get burned out from the game. I'm just kind of a rare anomaly that happened. So going forward, that's my hope. I'm not saying Fantasy Fight, give me another mechanism like player side schemes. I want something totally another system. I want you to give me, because I want to go pound the villain in the face. No, I'm happy. Releasing more cards, and we're getting the Deadpool aspect. We're getting more cards from X23, and then a next expansion slot. We're gonna get more. So the game is gonna be very, very robust, and I think when that does happen, I'm gonna get right back into the game and figuring things out and doing all that. But I guess my main worry is if they don't have the balls to maybe do something like they did with the player size scheme. Because let me tell you something. The player size scheme, that was a big decision on their part. That could have backfired big time if they did not implement it well. If they made it dumb or clunky feeling, or they didn't test it enough to, what if they made all the player size schemes have zero costs? That would have been really OP. I'm glad that they actually made most of them cost one resource, because they're very tempo swingy type cards for the player. But so what I'm saying is they might release another box set and be like, you know what, this game is selling well, things are lovey-dovey, let's not rock the ship, let's not, you know, introduce something new that might backfire. And I hope they don't do that. I want them, you know, not to be scared to implement new things. But again, I understand, you know, it's the dev team and then the approval from their leadership. Obviously, he's the person up above them is going to decide, yes, I like your idea, go ahead. But for the most part, I think they've had pretty good track record of trying things out. But again, I'm just being as real as I can. I know not everybody shares what I'm feeling right now. In fact, they might be like, you know, I don't feel one bit the way you're feeling. Understand it. Again, this is just my hope and inspirations, basically. That being said, Marvel Champions is a great game. When I meet people that like card games, I'll be like, dude, go to my channel, not saying subscribe, but just check out Marvel Champions, or go to this channel, check out Marvel Champions. It's a great game. It's like, if anyone likes cooperative card games, this is the game to get, in my opinion. So going forward with the channel, there's going to be a little bit of break of content with Marvel Champions, but I am going to try to go more into response videos, articulate videos on the game, what I like, what I don't like. Again, we're not going into power tier list, but we'll go more into maybe specification, different heroes. You know, let's talk about control heroes. Let's talk about strategic ways to play the game, what I like to do. So I figure I can venture into those kind of aspects. I could tackle the so-called weak heroes of the game that people classify, and maybe we make a whole segment of these heroes dominating and what their strengths are, and so we can kind of flip it and be like, yeah, well, you guys are wrong. But yeah, still got a lot of ideas, but I know I have not been on the radar for a while, and I know some people that are kind of regulars on my channel are probably like, you know, where's Descry? I see a bunch of other games he's trying to upload. What's going on? Where's the Marvel Champion content? Again, basically in a nutshell, I'm burnt out, guys. I'm burnt out. I love the game. The game is not at fault. It's Descry. Descry played too much. Am I ever returning to Gladius? Maybe. I do like my Russian friends over there. And that's a whole different topic. But yeah, very good strategy game. Yeah, I might, you know, I might jump into Gladius, but just as a commentary, because here's my problem. That game is a thinking game, and that game you have to practice too a little bit. Like what I mean by that is the people that are playing it right now, like PvP, player versus player, these guys, they play it every day almost, the regulars. So they know the best builds, the most effective, you know, attacking strategy and all that. If I jump into it right now, I haven't played it for half a year almost. I'm gonna be like a fish out of water, and they're gonna, I mean, I'm not gonna get like noob stomped, but I'll be at a really disadvantage. I mean, I would probably like just to go into a game and just commentary, because I have the knowledge, and I have, like, I know what's going on in the game. I know like the different terminology, like counterattacking, holding a position, alpha striking. So yeah, I might doubt, because I have missed it a little bit, but I don't think I'm gonna go full into Gladius like I used to. But I know I do have some subscribers that watch Gladius. Now this video is more about Marvel Champions, but yeah, I feel you. I know there's a few people that like my Gladius content. So guys, I don't want to, unless people want to start dropping me some questions about burnout or about anything about the future expansions, this is your time to do it. This is a live stream. I'll give you a few minutes if anybody just has any question for me. But all in all, guys, I want to appreciate you guys. Again, we're almost at 700, and I never thought in a million years I would even be remotely that big. Well, it's not a big channel, but like for me, I never thought I could get to that many people that would subscribe to a channel that I'm controlling. So it's really cool. What else did I want to talk about here? Yeah, I had some ideas like I have a minion trait called Vengeful. So like if the minion dies, the villain activates. I had an idea for a trait for thief / burglar or whatever. If they activate, they steal your lowest cost upgrade, like it goes underneath them. So if you kill the minion, it just goes in your discard pile. Poppy Mo, you were like 100 when I think we started playing together. Wow, you grinded and grew. Yeah. Most of my subscribers are from Marvel Champions. No, but I know I do have a few. Like I would conservatively say maybe 50 to 100 at the most from Gladius. But most of my people are for Marvel Champions basically. So another thing too is if anybody has ideas or what they hope for the expansion, the next big box, write in the comment. I promise I will comment you back. And are you afraid of burnout? Have you ever experienced burnout? Not just in Marvel Champions, but any type of game. And what do you do when that happens? Do you just default to a different game? Do you wait 2 weeks? Do you wait a month and then try to dive back into it? Or is it like the honeymoon's over and it's never the same ever again? Let me know what your feelings are. And again, this is not a super interesting video, but it's more an update to where I am with the game. And again, I love this game. I recommend this game. And I would say 9 out of 10 times, I don't even think remotely anyone's even going to get burnout. But for people like me that have played the game thousands and thousands of time and accomplished some of the hardest things I didn't think are possible, I've sort of reached, I'm sort of in this burnout category at the moment. But content will still be coming in. Expect a lot of content to drop once the new heroes arrive, because I know that's the best time to drop content and where people kind of, want to click and hear what you have to say. Again, guys, I'm gonna. Looks like nobody has any more questions for me, so this is Descry signing off. Again, keep it here. Don't go anywhere. I'm not leaving Marvel Champions, but this is the update. I appreciate y'all. Again, if you guys have any things you want to say, just put it in comments. I promise to respond back to you. Anyways, have a good night, everybody. I will see you next time.